really sort of seduced by the music of rock and roll and rockabilly, and then
In the dim glow of a London studio, framed by vintage amps and guitars that shaped the sound of rock history, 81-year-old Jimmy Page settles into his chair. His eyes, sharp, reflective, and still carrying the fire of the 1970s, tell a story even before he speaks. "I've respected many," he says softly, "but that doesn't mean I liked all of them." For decades, the world speculated about rivalries, grudges, and silent tensions hidden behind the curtain of fame. Page, always private, rarely confirmed anything. Until now. In this fictionalized documentary, he finally opens the vault, revealing 6 guitarists who rubbed him the wrong way, challenged him, or pushed his patience to the limit. Some were arrogant, some copied him, some insulted him, and some were simply too loud even for a man who lived inside Marshall stacks. Tonight, Jimmy Page isn't holding back. This is not a polite industry interview. This is a confession, raw, unfiltered, and decades in the making. Let's begin. 6. Ritchie Blackmore. Among all the guitarists Jimmy Page crossed paths with, none irritated him quite like Yngwie Malmsteen. Their worlds were built on completely different philosophies. Page believed in mystique, emotion, imperfection, and musical storytelling, while Malmsteen represented a new era obsessed with speed, precision, and flamboyant virtuosity. But it wasn't the technique that bothered Page. It was the attitude. In this fictionalized documentary, Page recalls watching Malmsteen perform in the mid-1980s. He didn't just play fast, he needed everyone to know he played fast. Page admired the technical ability, but the arrogance was overwhelming. Backstage, Malmsteen reportedly referred to Zeppelin's sound as old man rock, insisting that Page's playing lacked discipline. That comment burned deeply. Page describes their only extended conversation as a lecture. Malmsteen bragged about reinventing the guitar, insisting no one before him had pushed the instrument's limits. Page, quietly offended, simply walked away. "I never disliked Yngwie's hands," Page says. "I disliked his mouth." To Page, Malmsteen symbolized the shift from soul to spectacle, a movement he believed ignored the emotional core of rock music. And while Page respected his skill, Malmsteen's ego cemented him firmly on the list of guitarists Page couldn't stand. 5. Jeff Beck. If there was ever a rivalry powered by myth, it was the one between Jimmy Page and Jeff Beck. Childhood friends, Yardbirds alumni, and 2 of the greatest guitarists on the planet. Their rumored tension grew into legend. Fans whispered that their friendly competition sometimes exploded into jealousy, frustration, and unspoken resentment. The stories say Beck was the technician, the innovator, the restless experimenter, while Page was the producer wizard who could transform chaos into anthems. Myth has it that when one of them invented a new guitar trick, the other had already mastered it by the next morning. Rock folklore claims they pushed each other harder than anyone else. Some said Page feared Beck's unpredictability. Others claimed Beck felt overshadowed by Zeppelin's meteoric rise. None of it is confirmed, but in rock mythology, their relationship is the perfect blend of admiration, rivalry, and explosive creative energy. 4. Eric Clapton. Legends say the Page-Clapton rivalry began long before Zeppelin, before Cream, even before the Yardbirds. In London, clubs filled with cigarette smoke and amplifiers that hummed like engines, fans debated endlessly. Who was the true guitar god, Clapton or Page? According to folklore, Clapton despised Zeppelin's raw, heavy direction, while Page found Clapton too polished. At least, that's how the myths go. Fans imagined icy glances, tense backstage moments, and silent competitions played out through solos rather than words. But the truth? It's all speculation. Still, these stories live on because they capture something irresistible. Two giants, each shaping the future of rock, locked in a silent duel neither one admitted existed. In rock mythology, Clapton and Page weren't enemies. They were titans orbiting the same sun, forever compared, forever contrasted. 3. Pete Townshend. Pete Townshend and Jimmy Page couldn't have been more different, and that contrast fueled endless rock and roll legends. Townshend, the explosive windmill strumming force behind The Who, represented raw energy and theatrical power. Page represented mystique, layered arrangements, deep textures, and solos that felt like summoning spells. Rock folklore claims Townshend once dismissed Zeppelin's sound as too heavy, while fans imagined Page shaking his head at The Who's chaotic aggression. Myths say their respect was quiet but fragile. Two innovators circling each other with caution, each believing his band defined the true direction of rock. In the world of fan-made legend, Townshend and Page weren't enemies, but they stood on different mountaintops, and everyone wondered what would happen if those mountains ever collided. Of course, none of it was confirmed, yet the stories never faded. 2. Tony Iommi. Among the legendary guitarists Page reportedly clashed with, Tony Iommi stood out as a symbol of the heavier, darker evolution of rock. While Page's music thrived on mysticism, layered riffs, and blues-infused emotion, Iommi pushed boundaries toward doom-laden riffs, creating a sound that was raw, uncompromising, and, in Page's eyes, almost confrontational. According to legend, their first meeting was polite, almost cordial, but the energy was charged beneath the surface. Fans tell stories of long glances across festival stages, subtle jabs in interviews, and the unspoken tension of two guitar architects operating in overlapping realms. Iommi represented the next era, a heavier, louder, and more aggressive sound that seemed to challenge Page's mastery of subtlety. Page reportedly admitted that he respected Iommi's innovation, but the arrogance, the self-assured darkness of his playing, rubbed him the wrong way. He didn't play to impress people, Page said in our fictionalized narrative. He played to conquer them. In the mythology of rock, Iommi wasn't a personal enemy. He was a rival in essence, a benchmark, and a reminder that greatness comes with competition. And for Page, that tension was thrilling, infuriating, and unforgettable all at once. 1. Jimi Hendrix. In this fictional documentary world, no guitarist stirred more conflicting emotions in Jimmy Page than Jimi Hendrix. Page admired him, feared him, respected him, and, according to rock folklore, resented him all at once. Hendrix was the one guitarist Page could never figure out. He broke every rule, ignored every boundary, and arrived on the scene like a supernatural force, leaving everyone else staring in disbelief. Page reportedly said Hendrix played as if plugged into something not of this world. That mystique captivated him, but it also cast a long, intimidating shadow over every guitarist of the era. Page never admitted it publicly, but insiders claim he felt the pressure every time Hendrix walked into a room, or worse, onto a stage. Their rivalry wasn't personal, it was existential. Hendrix didn't try to outplay anyone, yet effortlessly did. He didn't care about image, yet became the image. And while Page valued the witchcraft and mystery of performance, Hendrix seemed to embody it naturally, without effort. In the fictionalized lore, Page once confessed, "I didn't hate him. I hated that the rest of us were still human." Hendrix wasn't just #1 on Page's list. He was the only guitarist Page believed might truly have been untouchable. These 6 rivalries were never confirmed. They were forged in backstage whispers, fan debates, and the wild imagination of the rock and roll world. But that's what made them powerful. These legends represent the excitement, mystery, and myth-making that defined the golden age of guitar heroes. Whether these stories were exaggerations, misunderstandings, or pure fantasy, they kept the magic of rock alive. Jimmy Page became more than a guitarist. He became a character in an epic saga filled with shadows, rumors, and incredible tales. If you want more legendary rock myths, fictional rivalries, and dramatic countdowns, don't forget to subscribe. There are countless stories left to explore from the greatest era music has ever seen.